YouTube, and she's just great. John writes, thanks, David. 24 years ago, he was introduced to Success Magazine. Yeah, here too, man. It's a great resource for those in the direct sales, network marketing industry, but also in business too, John, for sure. I've saved most articles that have a positive impression of the direct sales network marketing industry because this is the white collar area where traditional businesses are moving. I agree with you. Traditional businesses can reduce their sales and distribution costs. Yeah, good point for sure. So check out that kind of stuff. Success Magazine, Mel Robbins. I love that message. You gotta overcome your own thinking, your own limited thinking, your own brain to really push through and make your goals happen. None of us like to cold call, but what if you just did 5 a day in the new year? 5 people a day. It's painless, right? It's only 5. It's nothing. I know yesterday I was out on my walk. I did 2 walks yesterday because it was actually not a bad day. It was a little brisk. But on my outdoor walk, I did a mall walk, and then I did an outdoor walk. And on the outdoor walk, I walked a track at a nearby high school. And I was starting to say, I'll just do 3 laps. I'm getting tired. It's cold. And then I went, no, I'm going to do 4. I'm going to do my mile and push through. And boy, when you push through something and you make that breakthrough and you got through that stupid thinking, that crud that she talked about, boy, you feel just absolutely amazing. Nothing can stop you. So, as you look at your sales goals, your business goals, your life goals over the holidays, make sure you push through, and make things happen. Too, we live in the comfort zone, right? We're in the comfort zone. It's not so comfortable. When you push through that comfort zone, that's where miracles happen. That's where business happens. That's where, you become unstoppable. So as you do some goal setting, make sure you don't get stopped. And if you do, watch it. Watch your own, thinking. Shelley writes, discomfort is a sign of something new happening. Exactly. Yeah, and it's okay, embrace the new. You'll get used to it, right? As long as it's not too painful, Shelley. There's a woman I recommend you follow as well. She's got some videos on YouTube. She's got books. Her name is Byron Katie. She's a personal growth specialist teaching worldwide. She's an author. She's a coach. And she's developed this process of changing your thinking called The Work. And it's a process for making breakthroughs in limiting self-sabotaging thinking. So if you think, when you call a prospect and they don't call back, and then you call them a month later and they still don't call back, or, one way to turn your thinking around, because then we start to create stories about this, right? We're not good enough. See, I told you this is the wrong business. Ugh, people are just idiots. They don't call back, right? So the work is, it's these 4 questions you need to ask yourself. Is it true? Is the customer an idiot that doesn't call back? Yeah, it's probably true. No, I'm just kidding. Is it true? Can you absolutely know that customer is an idiot, right? How do you react when that happens, and when you believe that thought? And who would you be without the thought? So whenever you get somebody sort of, not kind of doing what we'd like them to do, and then you make a judgment around it, is it true? Can you absolutely know it's true? How do you react? What happens when you believe that thought? And who would you be without that thought? So this is called the work or the turnaround process. John writes, he's lost audio and he can't hear me. That's weird. Can everybody else hear me? Can everybody else hear okay?
I can hear you, but you were going funny,
Okay.
like echoey, and the sound wasn't all that good.
All right.
You're fine now.
Okay, good. That could be the line. Sometimes the line. Okay, mic's loud and clear. So try this out. When you have a negative experience with a client, try that. It's called the turnaround process. You could try this with anybody, really. So the turnaround concept is it helps you just to examine your own line of thinking, right? And you can turn around the judgments that we make about others and about our business and about just what we're believing. So it really is this turnaround process by asking these 4 questions on a regular basis. It helps you to have a happier, more stress-free life. So really, do recommend it. Some people just joined us. Sam, welcome. I know Sharon's here. Larry's here. Welcome, Larry. So try that process, the turnaround process. I emailed everybody the material over the weekend. I hope you got it. But this is powerful stuff. Is it true? The thoughts you have about certain situation, do you know it's absolutely true? How do you react when that happens? So let's say you have a belief about selling, right? I don't know. I'm trying to think of a belief that we'd have. Let's say Let's say this is a common belief. I'm not very creative as a business owner. Is that true? Are you sure that's true? How to react when that happens? Well, I react. I don't take chances. I'm not aggressive, perhaps. I don't take risks in terms of my creativity. Who would you be without that thought? Oh, I'd be creative, right? And the truth is, we're all creative. We're all creative. Somehow somebody slammed it into you that you weren't creative. Maybe you got laughed at for painting something silly or something, but you thought it was great. Somebody else didn't like it. So what? You have to break through your limited thinking. Shelley writes, when does constant follow-up become harassing to a client? That's a good question. I think if you're like calling every week, that's a little too much. But maybe every 4 to 6 weeks, Shelley, I think that's just enough, right? It's not over the top. And just always be positive when you're following up, Shelley. Like, hey, Joe, just touching base. We're doing great work with some of our other clients. We're getting great results. We'd love to show you how we get these results for you. All right, really important to do that, and just be amp up on the positive, right? If the client's kind of giving you permission to follow up, I'd stay with it, but every 4 to 6 weeks I think is just ample. I think anything more than that is a little bit harassing. So really important to work on the turnaround process. Do a little research on that. It'll help you have a little bit more peace when you find your stinking is thinking. So some other ways to overcome the fear and doubt we have in sales is, get a good accountability partner. I don't know how many of you have that. Get a good accountability partner. Get somebody else in business who you respect and ask them to have a call maybe every other week or once a month, just to sort of brainstorm, overcome some of the challenges you might have, to set goals, to have them hold you accountable to reaching those goals, right? The other thing is, to me, make selling a fun project. I'd play at it. I'd have signs and maybe a t-shirt made, or have things that are going to really motivate and inspire you when it comes to selling. Like I had a goal this fall of 5 calls a day, and I had posters up in my office. Have you done the 5? Things like that, like the magic 5. And that was my sort of my project around selling. And enjoy the journey, right? Just see selling as a really cool challenge. It's a challenge. It's fun. And at the end of the day, you meet new people. You form new relationships. It's kind of exciting. Maybe get a mentor. If you're really not sure about selling, ask somebody who's really good at selling in business to maybe mentor you once a month, to talk to them once a month on the phone, and just pick their brains and ask them questions about what they would do, and and how do they approach it, right? You might as well learn from somebody who's really, really good. The other thing is, maybe this year in January, one of your goals is to start a mastermind team. Maybe instead of 1 accountability partner, you've got 4 or 5, and you meet on a monthly basis and discuss your goals, your challenges, your issues around the business with 4 or 5 other people. Your results are gonna just, man, they're just gonna turbocharge, because now you got, instead of 1 other person, you've got 5 other ideas and opinions and contacts to help you run your business, right? And always remember this in selling: if you do fear rejection, and none of us like it, some will, some won't. So what? Who cares? Next, right? So keep going. In other words, keep going. So, do you have a sales plan process? What works for you? How do you actually take a prospect from interest into having them make a purchase rather? What's your process? What are the steps you take to get a prospect to become a customer? Take a moment out and write your process down, and then we'll hear a couple. Okay, so take a moment out to answer these questions. I'll just quieten down for a sec. I'm unmuting some of you, so watch your background noise. Or you can mute yourself. Sam, I unmuted you. Larry as well. John, I unmuted you. But take a moment just to work on this question. All right. So Mike, what works for Mike? He hosts seminars and info sessions as a way to get people that are interested into becoming a customer. Yeah, that's a good idea. What else works for other people on the call? Take a moment just to write this down. If you want to chime in, please do. Hey, anybody else want to have an answer? What steps do you take? Anything else work? Okay, for the sake of time, I'm going to move forward. I like the 6-step sales process that I've shared already, where I do a little research on the customer. I research my own industry. I'm aware of what's going on around me, and then that gives me some talking points. And then I'm prospecting and connecting and talking it up about what it is I do. Maybe it is that I do like Mike, what you do, where I host an event or a session, and then I'll sell from the room. I have an offer, and I'll make that offer known. My goal, though, whenever I meet somebody, is to book that first meeting and have a planning session with them, which we talked about at the start. Then if we agree to work together, I will deliver a presentation or work on a presentation. Might have to overcome some objections and negotiate a bit in that step. And then I ask for the business, right? And hopefully we do the work, and then we follow up, and hopefully it's kind of a rinse, lather, and repeat, like your favorite shampoo, right? So make sure you do have some sort of a process in mind. So as you're setting your goals for what you want to achieve, that you have that process. You have a methodology to follow in order to hit your targets, hit your sales targets, and hit your sales goals in the new year. Any questions? All right. I'm going to have you work on like what you would say on a phone call. Let's say you're calling somebody new. What would you say? So one of the things you want to do is this is a very simple format. State who you are. So I'm Bob. I'm from XYZ company, and we sell real estate. And the benefits of buying real estate is it's a great investment strategy, and it's really a smart idea to have in your overall investment portfolio. And if that's something you'd like to do to increase your investments and diversify, then I'd love the opportunity to see if we can, show you how you can get into the market relatively inexpensively and relatively risk-free. Would you be open to meeting next Tuesday at 2? And that's really all you need to say on a prospecting call. So I want you to work on your own for a moment or two and write down your opening statement. So what I said there was really, really simple. I shared a benefit. So we help, real estate helps you to diversify and make more money. We'd love the opportunity to meet to show you how we can get those kind of results for you. And that's it. And that's all you're on the hook for when you're selling. So you know how you get nervous, like, oh boy, I hope I don't screw up, or I hope I don't make a mistake, or what do I say? What if I go on for too long? This is it. This is all you need to say when you're making a prospecting call or calling somebody for the first time. So take a couple minutes just to work on this, and let's hear one or two, okay? So if you're going to do cold calling as part of your sales goals in the new year, this is what you need to work on. So take a moment and let's work on these for a couple minutes. Hopefully you're working on this. I want to hear a couple. Okay, another minute on this. Okay, do any of you have one that you'd like to share? Anyone? Don't be shy, now's the time.
Maybe I'll give it a try. It's Ruth Rutan.
It's Ruth.
Okay. So I am, I'm Ruth Rutan from Ruth Rutan and Associates. I'm a diabetes and foot care educator providing services to clients with diabetes and providing diabetes and foot care education. The benefits of my service is that I can help to identify risk factors in clients that could potentially lead to amputation and to educate clients on the self-management of their feet to keep them healthy.
Right. Excellent. Yeah, because it really can. I've seen this, and on a horrible scale, it's brutal, like absolutely brutal. It's a little scary to say the least. And there's a big incidence of diabetes, and obviously, and you know it's a serious issue, and it's also a serious problem, um, a serious risk associated with having diabetes. So managing your feet and managing any scrapes or cuts or wounds is really critical to prevent you're right, possible amputation and more pain later down the road. So well said, Ruth. Thank you. Do you have any?
I'm sorry. I just had one question.
Okay.
And it had to do with, is it ever appropriate to contact a client where you have lost that sales opportunity, asking them if they would be willing to share the criteria on which the winning, if I might call it, company won that contract, just to give a sense of what was I lacking in the contract, but really wanted to change it so that what is the criteria which the other company won.
I think that that's okay to do. As a matter of fact, I would even call just to see, hey, we're just following up. I know we didn't get your business, but are you happy with who you chose? Maybe they made the wrong decision, right? And they might feel a little embarrassed to admit that they made the wrong decision. And then after you've asked that, like, are you happy? Could and then what I would say is, my company is really committed to being professional. And I want to know what it is I could have done differently to have gotten your business.
Oh, okay.
Right?
Sounds good.
And word it in that kind of way, right? What can we do differently? How can we get your business in future? And would you be open to staying in touch until maybe you might not be happy one day, right? And so we want to be there to serve you when you're open to switching vendors, right? Does that?
Very good.
Yeah, that's how. And so yes, so go, green lights go, Ruth, all the way.
Good. Thank you so much.
Okay. John Flanagan had to leave. It is 10:01. He wishes everybody a great Christmas and New Year. I got to wrap this up. So just a couple things to go to. Practice this over the holidays, okay? Practice your scripting. Get feedback on how you can improve it. Last week we showed you the video of Sally Hogshead. Remember the 9 seconds that you have, 9 seconds to wow a customer? Well, don't forget that. What are you going to say that's going to wow somebody, that's going to intrigue somebody enough that they want to do business with you? So she's written a book, which I also recommend you ask Santa for. There it is here. It's called Fascinate. How to be fascinating and use the 7 triggers of fascination to get your client's attention, because that's really all it is. A call is just like get somebody's attention so that they want to meet with you, right? So she says, the world's not changed by people who sort of care. So you have to have passion. We're in a very competitive environment, so you have to stand out. And usually when you stand out and you're fascinating, you're going to win the day. Stand out or don't bother, she says. You can be comfortable or outstanding, but not both. Forget what your business card says. You're an entrepreneur. So live in verbs. We're entrepreneurs. We're game changers. If we don't have passion and energy and enthusiasm, and we're not being a little bit different, a little bit unique, then we're not going to get the attention of our customers or get their business. Passion is the ultimate way, she says, to add value to your clients. And if you're not eliciting a negative response from somebody, you're probably not very fascinating to anyone. So when you're selling, don't worry about the no's. You're going to get no's. That's going to happen no matter what. Guaranteed. You're going to hear 98% no's. But you're playing for a yes. Remember, don't take no, don't make it personally, right? Don't take it. It's not personal. It just means I don't know enough about you, or I don't know you, or how can I make a decision? We've just met or spoken. Practice your scripting over the holidays. Make a contact list. Know the kinds of clients you want to go after. One thing is talk to your friends and family and past business associates and ask for referrals. That's a great way to warm up the process. And also call on the kinds of businesses you want to call on so you can position yourself as an expert. I think I'm going to pause here and do this next week or next in the new year, because we've got just a little bit of information that I didn't get to today. We're actually over time, and I want to be respectful of time. Okay, so my homework request over the next few weeks, we're not back until January the 11th, is I want you to practice. I got into a cab in New York and asked the cab driver, how do I get to Carnegie Hall? And he replied, practice, practice, practice. So you know those opening statements you just wrote? I want you to practice it on 5 people over the holidays, friends, family, and ask for feedback on how you can improve them, okay? So that's your homework over the holidays. And work on some goal setting. Work on some goal setting. Set your goals, set your intentions, set your plans, put your plans in motion for the new year. If you have any questions, this is where you can get a hold of me, okay? The coach at smallbusinessbigideas.com. That's my website, phone number, if you need it in a pinch. And I say the 13th. I made a mistake. We're back on the 11th. We're back on the 11th, not the 13th. Okay? So any questions to wrap up? Questions, concerns? Awesome stuff. Thanks, Mike. I just want to thank everybody for being on the call. Have a beautiful Christmas and a happy and healthy new year. It's going to be a good year. I have it on authority. And just enjoy the holidays, okay, everybody? And thank you so much for being here today. Really, thank you.